Hello crafters, I'm JanB and I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator. Today I'd like to show you how I made this congratulations card. The main feature of this video is going to be spritzing and how I spritzed the Flourish, which was in Dazzling Diamonds Glimmer Paper, but I've spritzed it so that it's a nice pink now and blends in with the pink pirouette cardstock. So I will show you how I made the card, but I'm going to show you how I made the spritzer as well. So to start off with, the card pieces you're going to need are a piece of crumb cake which measures 6 inches by 12 inches, scored and folded at 6 inches, which is 30 by 15 centimetres, scored and folded at 15 centimetres. Then you'll need 2 pieces of Whisper White cardstock, which measure 5 3/4 inches by 5 3/4 inches, which is 14.4 by 14.4 centimetres. And then you'll need a piece of crumb cake cardstock, which measures 4 1/4 inches by 4 1/4 inches, which is 10.7 by 10.7 centimetres. And then a piece of designer series paper, and mine is from the Falling in Love set, and this measures 4 inches by 4 inches, which is 10.1 by 10.1 centimetres. You'll also need a thin strip of Whisper White for the sentiment, and it needs to be approximately 3/8 of an inch by 3.5 inches, which is 0.5 centimetres by 9 centimetres. I'm not going to be die cutting my glimmer paper designs. What I'm using this time are, I'm going to be using the heart, which comes from the Bloomin Hearts Thinlits dies, and for the inside I'm going to be using this little Flourish. Let me put them on here, I think you'll be able to see them better. Okay, so that's the heart, and on the inside of my card I'm going to be using that little flower, and that is from the Flourish Thinlits dies. And the reason these are already cut is because on my blog I have challenged myself to use my die cuts that I've already made, which I made for a previous project sometime but never actually used it, and I have been getting quite a collection of them, particularly with the Dazzling Diamonds Glimmer Paper. This is the tray that I have. I've got quite a few red ones as well, but as you can see I've got quite a lot here that I've already cut out but never actually used, so I'm trying to make sure that I do get them used, which is why these are already done. So to use to die cut that, you'd need a piece of Dazzling Diamonds Glimmer Paper that measures about 4 inches by 4 inches, which is about 10 by 10 centimetres. And for that piece you need a piece that's about 2 inches by 2 inches, which is about 5 by 5 centimetres. It's unlike me to do something beforehand like that, but that was the reason for it. Now I've already done the spritzer for this card, and this is the colour that it's come up to. Let me show you. Yes, you can see the difference there. So what I'm going to show you how to make, I'm going to use real red, and the reason I've chosen real red is this one here was actually made using a retired colour. This I've had for about 4 years now, and I was surprised that it actually worked, but the colour was called Regal Rose, and that really is quite red, but it's come up lovely pink colour, so I'm interested to see what colour this is going to come up with. So I've left the label on here. I did have Lost Lagoon alcohol in here, and the reason I've labelled it like that is because when you come back to using this, like this one, this is the blue one. Let me show you the blue one that I did. Again, that was another die cut that I had but never used it. And this is the blue. This is Lost Lagoon, and no, it isn't Lost Lagoon, it's Island Indigo. What I had in here previously was Lost Lagoon, which is that one. And at that time I had one bottle that had Lost Lagoon in alcohol and the other one that had Lost Lagoon made with water. You can do either. The advantage of using alcohol is that it will dry a lot quicker, and that's the way I'm going to show you. Right, that can come off because that's not going to be Lost Lagoon now. Just wanted to leave that to show you. Now what I'm going to do is I'll bring my silicone mat and some kitchen roll just in case I get myself in a mess. I'm going to move my two cards out of the way for the same reason. Now, the rubbing alcohol I bought online, and what you need is something that's about 70%. Alright. Now what you need to do is fill your spritzer bottle. Now we sell these, we sell them a pack of 2, and in the UK they're £2.75 for 2. So you just remove your top, and these are washable. As you can see up here, I've had something, the blue one in there. You can see it's stained a bit, but that's okay. I have washed it out. Now I'm going to fill this approximately 3/4 with the alcohol, rubbing alcohol. Okay, that's like 9/10 full, but doesn't matter. Now you need to put some re-inker in here, and how much you put will decide on how deep your colour will be. Now normally I would do 3 drops, but as this is quite deep I'm going to do 6 drops. Right, 6 drops and the wipe. If this isn't dark enough, I can go back and make it darker, but for the sake of the video I'm not. I've got 6 drops and I'm just going to see what that comes up like. Okay, so I put that on and give it a shake. Now I've got some test pieces here, and I'm just going to spray these to see what colour it comes up. Now by the side of me I have my spray catcher box, which I made. It's on my blog if you want to see, on the 7th of March, and basically what I had was one of our very big boxes that we receive our deliveries from Stampin' Up in. It was 12 inches by 12 inches by 14 inches or something. So what I did was I cut it, and basically what I did was I cut diagonally down there, then I cut across the bottom, and then diagonally up, and then across the top. So that gave me 2 halves of the box, and it's made a brilliant spray catcher. It's too big, I did try, it's too big to get it in the camera. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to stand this up in my box. I'm not going to do it in the camera because it would just create too much mess, I think. So what I'm going to do is, first of all, I'm going to make sure that I've got the nozzle away from me. I don't want to spray myself. So I hope that you can hear the amount of times I'm spraying this. So let's give it a go. Right, that's gone lovely and dark. So I stand that there. Let me get my tweezers here. Now what happens with glimmer paper is it tends to run off. As you can see, as I've had this standing up, the colour is running from here down to the bottom. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stand it up in the box, make the video, and then I'm going to show you what it's like once it's dried. Okay, so let's pop that back in there. But don't forget to go and have a look at my blog on the 7th of March to see what my spray catcher is like. Right, so what I need to do now is I need to spray my flower and my heart. So let's pop these in the box. Okay, so you can see these are all really nice and white. I'll put it up against that one. So tip that upside down. Both of these are going to come up quite light because I didn't do this. Well, crumb cake isn't a very dark colour anyway. There we go, that's this one. Just give it a shake. And I'm just making sure that the nozzle is away from me, and then it's giving this several goes because it's a light colour. Also, you don't want to do this too close to you because it does have a smell. It doesn't say don't breathe it in, but I do think that this is one of those things you don't want to do in a confined space. Right, so, right, here we go. I've got my tweezers again. Let's bring my paper over. There we go. There's the heart. That's that. And let me show you what it was like. Okay, so you can see that's taken quite a lot of colour there. Right, now let's get this one. Okay, so that's gone quite crumb cake-ish. Okay, so that's how you do spritzing. Now I'm going to put that on one side so that I can put the card together. Let's put these. These will keep for a very long time, as you can see by this one. The one that I had with the Lost Lagoon in water, which I emptied earlier on today, at the bottom of it, it actually had like a quite a thick blob, but there wasn't anything like that in the alcohol one. I don't know the attributes of water, you know, how long you can keep it for and the reaction of reinkers, blah 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 and all of that. All I know is there was a blob in the water, but the alcohol one was fine. Right, unusually for me, again, this is something very unusual for me. I've rounded the corners on my card. In fact, I did it on both of them. I don't normally like rounded corners, but I felt that this card just called out for them and it works beautifully. So my designer series paper, I'm using my Project Life corner rounder, and as I'm doing it, I'm just making sure that this is lining up really nicely. Make sure that each side lines up against there and there. If you don't line it up properly, then you're not going to get a nice rounded corner. I tend to give mine a little bit of a jiggle as I put it in, just to make sure it's all okay. Now the second sheet of this white, this is for the inside of the card. Okay, now this one, it's double, but the project corner rounder will still cope with it. Just make sure that you are in there nice and straight, and you will get a nice rounded corner. So that's all of those done. Right, it's my box. Now I'm going to, yes, I can adhere all this together, can't I? Let's use this other one, I think there's more in it. You can use your favourite adhesive for this. There we go, that's the inside. Let's do the outside. This is a really surprisingly quick and easy card to put together. Mind you, I suppose for me I've already got the die cuts done, haven't I? So it's bound to be that much quicker. Right, let's do these two. I've also left quite a wide gap on this as well. I normally leave 1/8 of an inch all round, but this is actually 1/4 of an inch. Right, so my heart is over there drying. If you want to, you can actually use your heat gun to get your spritzing dried a bit quicker. And you can also use this spritzer on cardstock and your Whisper White, any of the coloured cardstocks, our shimmer paper, our shimmery white, all of it will take it. You could use it as a background. The good thing about it is it's one of those things that I would say, you know, experiment with it, have a bit of fun with it. Right, this should be about 3/4 of an inch. That's right. That's just got to come round a little bit. That should be straight. Spot on. Spot on. Right, okay. So now what I'm going to do is bring my heart back, and I'm not going to dry it, I don't think. Or maybe I will do. It does feel quite wet. Okay. I'm only going, in fact you can see from the back how wet that is, how damp that is. So yes, I've definitely got to dry it off a bit. Right, so let me just pick this up. Okay, excuse the noise for a little while. The only thing I would say about this is be very careful on the back, because the back does have a plastic backing to it, and on one of these I used the dryer on. I did do it too long, and it actually melted the backing. Then after that I couldn't get the backing off, which meant I couldn't use that particular piece. Right, I'm just going to give this one a quick dry as well. There we go, that should be fine. Yes. Right, so what I'm going to do is I want that to go there, and I'm not quite sure what I want to do with my sentiment at the moment. I think, oh, I could put it like that, couldn't I? Because I don't really want to bring it down here. Right, that's decided. I'm going to put that as close to the top that I can. I'm still going to leave a bit of a gap up there, and then I'm going to put the congratulations down here, and I'm going to let it overlap like this one has done. So I think that fits in quite nicely. Right, so get my silicone mat again, and I'll use Tombow again. Oops. I'm going to have to dab this off on a sheet of paper. That came out far too quickly. Oops. I don't know if that piece was already coming up or whether it was the heat that did that. But I will see if I can just trim it off before I stick it down. I hope you give this spritzing a try. It really is a fun technique to use. And it does give you another idea, something to do with your re-inkers as well. Right, let me just, I've got a sheet of paper now, let's use my kitchen towel. Right. Now I'm going to pop that towards the top, keeping it central. And then I'm going to pop this one on the inside as well. That's curling up a bit. Right, I'm going to give that a little dab on my paper too. Oops. There we go. Right, so now I need the sentiment, and what I'm going to use is, I'm using Congratulations, which is from the Guy Greetings. This one here. On this one, I used the Happy Birthday from here as well. But the other thing is, I want to show you how I get these rounded edges as well. So quite a few tips for you today. Right, so here's my piece of cardstock for my congratulations, and my crumb cake ink. Let's bring this down to me as close as I can. Just make sure it's straight. It's going off the screen a bit there, isn't it? Push it up to the next line. There we go, that's good. Okay, right, just remember, don't lean forward too far. Okay, just give that a press. There we go. I think that looks straight. Right, what I would normally do before it retired, I would have used the word window punch to have rounded off my ends, but since we no longer have that, what I'm going to do on this one is I'm going to use our 1/2 inch circle punch. And what I'm going to do, first of all I'm going to trim it down a bit because I don't need all of this to show you. I think that these rounded ends just makes a little bit of a difference from fishtailing, which seems to be very, very popular. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to slide that into the back of the circle, and I'm going to move it as far as where I want the end to be. Now what you need to do is to make sure, if I can get my paper piercer, you want to make sure that the gap that you have on that side is the same as the gap you have on this side, and to make sure it looks straight as well. So let me just fiddle with this till I'm happy with it. In fact, I want that to go through a bit more. I don't want it quite as long as that. Right, now I think that looks straight, and I think that looks as if you've got the same amount, and then just click, okay, and therefore I finish up with a nice rounded end. Now I'm going to do the same with the other end. Try and leave it so they've got the same amount of gap down there. Make sure it's straight, and make sure you've got the same gap both sides. There we go. That's okay, isn't it? So get rid of that one. That one's gone walkabouts. Now this one, which I prepared earlier, this is a happy birthday one. Let's cut that off a bit. Now this is the 3/4 inch circle punch. It's a bit tougher to get this one in, but it will go. That's it. Need a bit more encouragement than the other one because it's so close to the diameter, the width of the paper. The cardstock is so close to the diameter of the circle. But you just do the same thing, make it look straight, and also make it so that you've got the same gap on both sides, which I think that is, and then click, and you've got a nice rounded end, which I think goes particularly nice when you've got a card where you've rounded the corners. Okay, so there we go. If you've got enough of an end there, if you buckle that as you push it in, it's no great shakes because you're going to be punching it off anyway. Okay, so there we go. That's all nicely lined up again. Same amount of gap both sides. And there we go. There's that one. So now this is this will now go in a Ziploc bag, ready for the next time I do a blue card. Right, okay, so what I'll do now, the last thing is to pop this onto here, and I want to just slide it under like that, and I think that's going to be good to go then. So yes, I'll use Tombow for this. I was going to say about dimensionals, but no, if I did dimensionals I wouldn't be able to get the heart going on top of it, and I quite like that look. Right. Right, don't let this touch the, if you're using Tombow, don't let this touch the card until you got it down, because otherwise you can be putting glue where you don't want glue. If you keep it tilted so that the front here is away from you, so that this back doesn't touch the card until you're ready for it to. There we go, and there we have it. I think that looks a bit light, so what I might do, in fact what I will do, is I will, in this set of hearts there's 2 dies that will cut flowers for here, and what I will do is I will go in and I'll punch out flowers, die cut flowers for these, and adhere them on the front. If you check my blog tomorrow when I post this video, you'll see what it's like, because I will do it as soon as I finish the video, photograph it so that you can see what I meant. But as I say, the main thing about today's video was to show you spritzing, and I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial, and I really do hope you give it a go, because it is fun. It's something a little bit different. So these are my 3 cards. There's those 2 and this one, and let me just bring back that red for you, because it really has gone quite a bit lighter. There, in fact, let me move these out of the way again. Okay, so that is real red, and to show you this up against some real red paper, cardstock, it really is quite a lot lighter. I'm not sure how that's coming across on the video, but I'm sure you can see that that's quite a bit lighter. Anyway, there you go. You can experiment with this, do have fun with it. It will keep. In fact, I'm going to get myself some more spritzers now, because that's all I have, just those 3. And I will be doing it again, and I may well be featuring it on future videos too. Anyway, many thanks for joining me today. If you have any comments or any questions, please leave them in the comments box below the video. Or you can email me at janb@janbcards.com. If you'd like to purchase any of the products that I featured here today, I'll put a link for my 24/7 online Stampin' Up shop in the box below the video. If you've enjoyed my video and you would like to be notified when I post more videos, which is normally Wednesdays and Sundays, please subscribe to my YouTube channel by clicking on the subscribe button. And finally, I'll be putting the product codes and the names of the products that I've used and the measurements. I'll be putting them all on the screen. If you can't see because the device you're watching on, again, if you click below where it says show more, that will open up the box, and I'll make sure all the information is down there for you, so it's nice and easy for you to find. Many thanks for joining me today. Until next time, happy crafting. Cheerio.